Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Mandy's Menagerie of Gaming. But it's not going to be a gaming episode per se. I will be gaming, but I'm also going to be doing something else. I'd like to start a new series in my regular Minecraft world of what I sort of call Mandyland. And basically, during my off time, when I'm usually just planting trees or fishing or doing little things that that I don't need to record because they're boring or whatever, building little things and whatnot. I'd like to have a little bit of a sort of a discussionary time, a little confessionary time about social anxiety. And I decided to do this because I have a lot to say about it. Um, it's a problem I have, and if I could just help like one person, you know what I mean, that would be magical to me because I think that I wasn't helped for so long because it just wasn't aware that I had the problem. I didn't even know. I found out by accident. So I mean, I feel like people just they're not being told. They don't know that they have it. They think that it's depression or something else when really they might have social anxiety. So I just wanted to talk about it today, and I hope that it's helpful. And so I guess the way to start would be to just say how I started knowing how I knew. I guess I'd always been shy, and when I say shy, I don't mean a little bit scared, a little bit nervous when strange. I mean so shy that it hurts, that I get headaches, that I make myself sick knowing that I have to see people, and that's not shy. That is definitely social anxiety. But I didn't know that, and people always told me I was shy, and so that's just what I thought. I thought that there was I mean, I knew there was something wrong with me specifically, but I thought that, you know, I was so at fault. Everything's my fault, and if I was just a little bit stronger or something, then I would be better. There's something that I was less than because of that, because I couldn't be like other people and be friendly and fun and whatnot. Um, but I thought that I was depressed. So I think it was a year and a half, 2 years ago, I went to the doctors, and he asked me, it really gave me a checklist. He said, mark here what you think applies to you. And when I went in to see him, um, after I finished it, he looked at it and he said, do you think you're depressed? Because what you select here, there's a lot of depression, just tired a lot, sleeping, blah, 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 blah. But he said, just tell me what your main problem is. And I guess I said, I just want to be able to talk to my family. I want to be able to call my grandparents on the phone and not be afraid of what they're going to think of me. And he said, what do you mean? And I just explained, I said, I'm 26 years old. Um, well, at the time I was like 25, 24. But I said, I was almost done with college. I wasn't quite finished, I think. But yeah, I said, I feel like I should already be ahead. I feel like I should have my job. I feel like I should be doing this already. I feel like I should have kids. And, I said, when I call them, I feel embarrassed. Like they don't think that I'm doing good enough, or that I have nothing good to say, and that it's going to be, they're going to think bad things about it. And he said, why would you say that? Have they ever said anything like that to you? And I said, no, but that doesn't mean they're not thinking it. And he said, do you feel like that all the time? Do you feel like that about everybody, or is it just your family? And I said, well, I feel like that about everybody. and and he said, well, what exactly do you mean? And I just said, um, I always feel like people are looking at me. I always feel like they're thinking bad things about me. I always feel like I'm not doing something right. And he said, do you know what you just, and he said, do you know what you just sounded like? Do you know what you exactly match, your thought process? And I said, what's that? And he said, social anxiety. He said, I think you have social anxiety disorder. And, I had a couple more sessions later, and he that's what he diagnosed me with. And that's basically what social anxiety is. It's you believing that every sort of interaction with people is there's bad things in your head that you think that they're thinking about you, and who knows, maybe they are, but that's not the point. Not every single person that you meet in your life is going to be thinking bad things about you, especially not your family or whatever, things like that. So that's what it really is. It's sort of like a self-esteem thing, not like a paranoid thing, more of like how you feel about yourself. It's kind of the root of it. And so, obviously, those kind of thoughts can also cause depression, which is where, oops, I missed it, which is where that can come from. So I started taking Prozac, and as it was explained to me, the lower doses are more for depression, and the higher doses of Prozac are more for anxiety. So I started at like 10, which is like a regular level for depression. It helped me a little bit, help with my depression, but it wasn't really helping me with my anxiety. I was still having trouble doing a lot of things that people with social anxiety have trouble with, like talking to strangers, just regular stuff, like going to the store, going up to the cashier and checking out, like you feel nervous about that, going to restaurants, like I can't, I mean, that feeling when the waitress looks at you and says, "What do you want?" Like the stupidest thing that you could think of, right? I mean, like, what I think a normal person would think was stupid, at least, to me it is like very stressful. It's for somebody to look at me and go, "What do you want?" Like I don't want people looking at me, I don't want people talking to me. It's like the weirdest thing. So that's just that kind of stuff. Like, and as my doses kept going up, every few months he would say, "How do you feel now? How do you feel?" And we'd go up a little bit, and then when I hit about 40, is when he and I both agreed that I think that I was pretty good. So I still have all the regular thoughts that I have. I still have my sort of automatic responses to things, but it's not nearly as severe, and I don't have all the depression that comes along with it. You know what I mean? Just the feeling bad about yourself because you can't. I don't know, because your friends ask you to go out to eat and you couldn't do that, or because you need to go to the mall and you hate the fact that you have to, because it's the only place you can get this one thing that you need, but there's people there, and like this whole thing. Hello, whale. There's a little whale. Hi. You can kind of see him under the water. I'd go in there to get a better look, but there's sharks, and I don't really want to deal with that. So yeah. Gosh, what was I saying? Whale totally distracted me. I got quite a lot of fish. And I don't even know what to do with these pufferfish and this clownfish. I have a feeling maybe I can put them in a fish bowl, but I don't know how to make one. So maybe I should fiddle around with that for a bit, see if I can't figure it out right now. So yeah. So what was I saying? Oh, right. So now I'm on 40, which is I think it's a higher dose for anxiety. I think between 20 and 40 is usually normal, and between like 5 and 15, 5 and 20 is for like normal depression. If that's, what your diagnosis is, that's what your issue is. So yeah, I'm on 40. I take it every day. And I can't even imagine not taking it. I can't even imagine being the way I was before. I mean, I used to cry. Oh my goodness. I used to cry at... Oh, no! Buddy pushed me back! Oh goodness. I mean, just, I used to cry all the time. I used to always be upset. And along with, the emotional issues come physical issues. Tension headaches. I don't get nearly as many as I used to. I mean, I used to get them at least once a week, maybe even twice a week. I get these horrible headaches. Sometimes they last all day. Anytime I really do something, when I'm having a bad week, I call them good weeks and bad weeks. You have ups and downs with any issues that you have. If I'm having a bad week and I'm going to the movie theater, I try not to let things stop me. I try not to let it stop me too much. But if I go to the movie theaters, I basically, by the time I leave the theater after 2 hours, I got a headache. And it's not because of my eyes or anything, it's because of the ordeal of having to get dressed and having to think, is this good enough? People are going to think I'm weird. Is something going to be wrong with me? I'm going to get there. I have to talk to the person who takes my ticket, and then I have to, I'm going to get snacks because I always have to get a drink because I get thirsty, so I got to get a drink. So then I got to go to the thing. And yeah, it helps to have support. It helps to have my husband Christopher with me, and a lot of times he'll just do those things for me because he's nice like that. But sometimes he won't. Sometimes he makes me do it, as he should. And that can be stressful. Almost any event that I go to, if I go to Disneyland or if I go to like the Renaissance Fair, I will come home with a headache. I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed. And maybe part of the reason that it happens is that that's what I'm expecting to happen, and who knows? It's all part of the the whatever. But But yeah, and oops, no, I didn't go there. Whoops, sorry. I'm trying to like talk and do this at the same time. Um, so yeah, so I take it every day, and like I said, I couldn't imagine not taking that medication because just to be the way that I was before, to the way that I thought. I mean, even now I still have those thoughts, but they're more like shadows of the thoughts that they used to be. You know what I mean? It's not overpowering. It's not so debilitating. I don't know how many like communication classes I either backed out of or failed, or like in college, how many problems whenever I had like a presentation to do in school. I mean, that was the worst. And it started in high school, actually probably like late middle school, as a lot of emotional, mood disorders and stuff sort of come around. Not even just mood disorders, all kinds of, But anyway, late adolescence, that's sort of when it began, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. By the time I was in college, it was just so, so bad. And I was almost out of college by the time I even realized that I had the problem. Like, I can't even imagine how much better, like, my grades would have been, how much better I would have, maybe I would have made some friends in college, like, if I didn't have, this problem, if I wasn't afraid of, like, every person that I met. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, and I think about it all the time, but it's like, that's another problem, is that I spend so much time thinking about the past and what's happened. And when you have social anxiety, it's just best to not think about it, because your memories are so vivid. I mean, the most powerful memories somebody can have are memories of fear. And when you're afraid of so many things, I mean, it's hard not to think about it, right? Oh, jeez, sorry. Zombie came out of nowhere, freaked me out. Is there any more? Gosh, see, just right now I just got that fear response very strong. I hope that that's a normal thing for this game. I have no idea how other people respond to sudden zombies, but oh god, my heart's pounding. Okay, anyway, I tend to be nervous in general now, I think, and I don't know if it's because of my social anxiety or what, but I don't know if it just heightens every other anxiety. But that was uncomfortable. Right. So as I was cutting down these birch trees, I'm basically farming stuff today. I'm just kind of like getting fish and trees and whatnot. So this is what I do on my off time when I'm not recording my regular gaming series. This is what I do to make materials for other things. So what the heck was I saying? I don't even know. I don't remember what I was saying. Let's see if I can make my way back somehow to what I was talking about. Right. Medication. Right. So I was basically saying, I can't imagine not taking it now, because it kind of saved my life in a way. I have a couple friends from high school, but the reason that I have these friends is because they basically refuse to let me go. And that's not necessarily a thing that always happens. I mean, a lot of people with social anxiety, they break off friendships not like really on purpose. It's sort of a slow thing. They just start spending time with less and less people who say, hey, let's go out and do this. And you're like, no, I don't really. You know what I mean? Because you're having a bad week, and eventually people stop asking. They stop saying, hey, you want to go do this, you want to do that, because you always say no. And, when they don't understand why you're like that, and you don't understand why they're like that, they take it personal, you know what I mean? They think that it's about them, and that you don't like them, or don't want to hang out with them, or, I don't know, even that, if you're just a bore, you don't like to do things. That's not it. It's that, it's easier to say no, and feel that relief, I'm telling you, there is nothing more relaxing to me than canceling plans. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's like, oh, it's the most amazing thing. There's the rush of just, like, it's just feels so good. And it shouldn't be like that. You should be able to have fun. You should be able to go out there and do things. And I've realized, through a little bit of therapy, I don't have therapy anymore. Right now I'm just on the medication sort of to maintain, but one of the things I did learn from therapy is that you have to sort of immerse yourself in the discomfort. And it's sort of, I don't remember what they call it. I think it's called just immersion therapy. But, you gotta ask yourself, what's the worst case scenario if I do this? So for me, one of the worst things that I can do is go to a restaurant. So what I do is, if I plan to go to a restaurant with somebody, I'm determined to go. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I can't always not make myself cancel. I mean, I can't. Sometimes I say no, and I just having a really bad week, and I just deal with it, and people around me deal with it. It's not that big of a deal when they know what your problem is. Like I said, like, understanding what's wrong with you is just half of what makes it better, because then you and everybody else around you, you can work with that. You know what I mean? You can say, oh, well, I know you don't feel good, but then you get encouragement. People around you going, I know you feel like that, but, I really think it'd be good for you. And, at least when somebody else knows what's wrong, they can be much more encouraging than if they didn't. You know what I mean? So what I do is I ask myself, what's the worst case scenario if I go? And to me, the worst case scenario for my fear, which would be social anxiety. I mean, if you're afraid of heights, so what's the worst case scenario? You could fall off and die. Like, for me, it's not that I'm gonna, fall down and die. For me, it's maybe a panic attack. And I haven't had very many. I'll say that's not a problem that I have regularly, but I have had them, and they are very scary. I don't know if you've ever had them, but they just sort of, when they happen, they're quite scary. And so to me, like, because that's what it feels like when you have a panic attack, any kind of fear that you have could feel like that, could become that. And so so that's my fear. And so I said, well, what would happen if I did have a panic attack? And I thought, well, I'd hyperventilate a lot. I might get a bit dizzy. I would probably have a weird out-of-body experience. Just things like that. And then I go, but would I be okay? I'd be like, yeah, I would probably go away. And I say, and you'd be with friends. You're going to a restaurant. It's either going to be with your husband or with friends, somebody who you've explained the problem to, who understands, and then they can sort of distract you from it or whatever, and you'll be okay. And that's what you have to tell yourself over and over. And sometimes just a little bit of that, like just talking yourself through it, is enough to get you there, get you going. And sometimes it's not. It just depends on how strong of a reaction you're having on a particular day or whatever. But it really can kind of vary. So I mean, it's up to you. It's up to your state of mind. I know I have. I think I already said good weeks and bad weeks. And 2 weeks ago, a couple of my friends asked if I would go to like a comedy club with them, and this was it was last week. It was a few days ago or whatever. And I was originally, I really wanted to say no. And Christopher, I think he really wanted to go, but he didn't want to pressure me into going. And Christopher's my husband, and he kept saying, he's like, well, we have to tell them soon. It's kind of important. And I just kept saying, I don't know. They'd be mad if I didn't want to go. Like, I wasn't saying no per se, but I was really hinting that I didn't really want to do it. And that was because I was having a bad week. And at that moment, I didn't feel like I could go through with it. But I ended up saying yes because, one, I kind of tell that Christopher really wanted to go, and I didn't want to be the jerk that, forced him to not have fun, especially at a comedy club. It's something we'd never done before, to be honest, and it did sound a lot like a lot of fun. So I think it was one of the it's one of those more famous places, like the Comedy and Magic Club or whatever, and Hermosa Beach or something like that. Anyway, so so we ended up going, and the week that it was, which was the next week, after I was having a good week. And so it was great. The day of, I was like, okay, let's go. It was fun. And yes, by the end of the day, I had a headache, as I usually do when I have to deal with people. But it wasn't nearly as bad of a response if I had gone the week that I didn't feel good. You see what I'm saying? So it's not always exactly the same. You can have ups and downs. And so, I mean, I'm just, if you know somebody with social anxiety, if you have it, like, don't beat yourself up. And don't beat them up. You know what I mean? Like, they really do try their best. They want to go out. They want to have fun. They want to do all these things with you. And they just don't always... They're just not always up to it, And you can't force it. Whoa. Oh, bunnies like carrots too. Oh, no. I don't want you in here, bunny. But how do I keep the pigs? Okay, I know. If I just give it all the pigs, then the bunny will keep following me. Bunny! Come on. No, not the baby pigs. No, no. Oh, no. Oh. Well, maybe I can, well, shoot. Sorry. I have a slight problem right now. Wait, no, bunny, come here. No, bunny. Bunny, come here. Bunny, bunny. Now he's ignoring me. A second ago, he was all over me, and now, okay, the pig either. He doesn't want to eat it. Come on. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, good, good. Bunny, follow me. Bunny, can you jump over the fence? No, you're stuck in the, oh, well, darn. How about now? No, no, pig, no! Oh, shoot. Sorry. Yay! Okay. You stay here, bunny, while I put the pig back. Oh, no, because he'll just jump over the table. This has become a little difficult, hasn't it? How about like this? There we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Sorry. I had to correct my issue there. Goodness. So, yeah. So I'm hoping if you know somebody with social anxiety, if I'm just gonna leave that bunny in there, I don't know. I guess he'll be the slaughterhouse mascot or something. Uh, um, yeah, if you know somebody with social anxiety, just try to be understanding. Maybe you're looking it up because you have it and you want to know what to do. And for that, maybe I can help you. I can tell you my coping mechanisms. I can't tell you what'll work for you because everybody's different. But I remember when I was in high school, I used to think I had agoraphobia because I would get really uncomfortable, really nervous, really scared whenever I would cross this big open sort of courtyard at the high school. And I realize now that it had nothing to do. Hello, Ingrid. It's my pet dolphin. If you don't watch my series, hello, Ingrid. Um, and so what I would do is I would put music in my ear, I'd play it really loudly, and then I would just sort of like speed across, not through the center. I'd kind of take around the edges. And I used to think it was the open space, and it wasn't the open space. It was because the courtyard was a place where a lot of people congregated. It was a really, student-heavy area. And so, I realized that that's, now, like in the last couple of years, I've realized that that's exactly what it was. So that I was just scared. And the music helped. The music still helps. That's one of my biggest, oh, it started raining outside. It's one of my biggest sort of, comforts, I guess, is music. It's calming. It's relaxing. You can sort of immerse yourself in it. And when I'm listening to music, I don't have those thoughts, those uncomfortable thoughts that, oh, everybody, hates me. I'm doing everything wrong. Oh, I took these carrots. I didn't mean to take the carrots with me. Oh, well. And all those thoughts that you get, when you have social anxiety disorder. So, people can have different things. Like, one of the things I do, which is, I don't know if it's really a coping mechanism, but it comforts me in a way, is that I tend to, when I'm really upset or when I'm really nervous, like a lot of people do, I start rocking. Like, I'll rock myself back and forth. There's a reason that children find it comforting, like babies and stuff. There's a reason that you do that, and it's because, it really does comfort them. It comforts me to do it. So, I used to do that at dinner, or when I would eat lunch with my friends, or anytime I have to eat in front of people, I sometimes tend to rock. I try to control it now, especially when I'm in restaurants, because it's weird and embarrassing for people around me. But that's what I would do. And my Uncle Kelly used to drive him crazy. Whenever we'd be at dinner, he used to grab me the second I started. Is it snowing? Oh, it's snowing. Oh, isn't that nice? It's snowing. But it's also raining. I think if I went to a lower altitude, it'd be raining instead of snowing. I think that's how this game works. But, but yeah. So, that's sort of like another thing that I do. If you have a child that does that, maybe they're nervous when they're eating in front of people. Maybe that's what they're doing, or maybe if they're doing that when there are people around, maybe it's because they're scared. You gotta look out for the signs. You gotta see. You gotta pay attention, because you can't always just assume that somebody's shy. You can't always just assume that, it's their little thing and that's just what they do. There could be signs of a real problem. It could be signs that, they're really actually just, hurting inside. You know what I mean? And it's just ask questions. If you have a young child, or if you just have a friend, or, anybody, a family member, or whatever it is, just ask them, how do you feel right now? What are you thinking? And it's embarrassing. They might not want to tell you, because I never said it out loud. I never wanted to say, I don't like these people looking at me. It makes me nervous, and blah, 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 blah. That's when you say it, to yourself, it just sounds so stupid. When you understand it, it's different. So, it might take a while, but maybe you could help somebody that if you suspect that they have sociophobia, social anxiety disorder, and hopefully, you can help them, because they deserve help. Everybody who's suffering deserves help. I think that's how I feel. And I really wish that I had discovered my problem earlier, because I feel like I don't know if I'd be a different person per se, but I just remember something that my grandma told me, that when I was really young, I was such a happy child. She said that I was a joy to be around. I was never a problem, never cranky, always happy. And she said that, I changed. Just one day, when she saw I left, when I was a bit younger, and the next time she saw me when I was, I don't know, 9, 10, 12, something like that, that I had changed. There was something had happened in me, and I think that that was really just sort of the onset of my anxiety for whatever my reasons are. I don't want to go too far into that because I'm not talking about that kind of stuff, but it's just there's a change. If there's a big change in somebody that you know, or just even like a gradual change, that could be it could be something like that. And whether it be depression or social anxiety or anything, like it's worth exploring. It's worth looking into and not taking anything for granted because these people don't want to lose you. You don't want to lose them. If you're somebody with it, you don't want to lose your friends. It's worth it to find out. You know what I mean? So I guess that'll be just my first episode, sort of a background, I guess, a little bit of what social anxiety is, why I feel like I should talk about it since I have it, and then sort of some of my coping mechanisms. And maybe as time goes on, if anybody has questions, I don't mind answering those. And, anytime I have something to confess, because I feel a little bit better when I talk about these things that really bothered me. You know what I mean? Like, there's something about getting it out there. So maybe I'll have an episode. This is just me. I guess it's my own personal therapy. And you're free to come along if you like and leave comments if you want or ask questions or whatever. So thanks for watching my first episode of Minecraft Let's Play Confessions of a Sociophobe. And I'm Mandy. And you are you, and thank you for watching, and have a super, super, super wonderful good day.